How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today I'm going to be talking about Arrival. I just watched this movie a few days ago. I know that I'm very late to this. This movie came out in September 2nd, 2016. Basically, what is it? 8 years later. Wow, that is really weird to say because I remember when this movie was coming out. No way it's been 8 years. I'm just making... No, it has been. That's weird. Okay, that put everything into perspective for me. So we are going to be talking about the movie Arrival. Like I said, it came out 2016. Great movie. You guys should definitely go watch it. Unless you start feeling old like I do about watching this movie and knowing when it came out. So Arrival is a movie. It's a sci-fi movie, basically just what happens when aliens touch down on Earth? What type of communication are we gonna do? The fears that come out from alien arrival. I'm not gonna hold back any punches because, like I said, I already saw the movie, and 2016. Come on, it's been 8 years. It came out when I was 11, and so no, come on. I gotta talk about it. It has a 94 on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.9 on IMDb, which is extremely low, especially because it's a great movie. It won the Oscar for Best Sound, and I can see why it won it. It was an incredible ride. So let's just talk a bit about it. I don't want to talk too much about the movie itself because the movie itself, it's not too generic, but the ending is the part that got me and the part that I mostly want to talk about. So what happens when a random semicircle drops into the earth? Everyone starts to panic. The military obviously takes control. They start to figure out what happened, but there are 12 of these that landed all over the world. One in Japan, one in China, one in here, one in there. And so the world is kind of like scrambling. They're trying to find out what is going on, why this thing landed where it did, what they want with the human race. But nobody understands their language because they just kind of groan and they just kind of make noises. This was one of the movies where I talked to my roommates because we saw it all together. And we were saying how weird it was that they actually showed the aliens. In not many movies do they actually show the aliens or do they even do anything about it. But in this one they actually showed them and they become a prominent part of the movie. So in the movie, basically... our main character, she has a daughter, Dr. Louise. She has a daughter, but something weird happens with that. So just bear with me a bit. You've probably seen the movie, but so she's talking to the alien and finds out that they only talk based on their language is a circle that has different, it doesn't have a grammatical structure, it doesn't have any type of structure, and they won't speak to you like that. They'll just go and on the glass that they had put a circle there that has its own different meanings. Basically, that's not important, and I took way too long explaining that, but just so you can get a mental picture. What happens in the movie is that the military is scared. People get scared because of what they don't understand. And this movie explains that perfectly because they start to listen to the media, hearing, oh my God, no, these aliens are going to come here to take us out. And any other advanced civilization that lands down on this one, they wipe the less advanced one out. And so there's a bunch of conflicting voices that are moving this movie. But Dr. Louise and Dr. Ian, that's how I'm going to call them. I don't remember last names very well. But they basically are the ones that go and communicate to the aliens. They talk to the aliens and they try to communicate as best as they can with the aliens. But then what happens is the fears get to some people that go rogue and they try to blow up the alien. They try to destroy it because they just want to get rid of them. And the same thing happens with the rest of the world. They start to not trust each other and just try to take out the alien on their own terms, which is stupid because the alien said that they're there to help by giving technology. But technology could also be weapons of war, weapons of this, weapons of that. And so we don't really know why these aliens are here at the beginning of the movie. And like I said, Louise is getting all of these visions about her daughter and stuff like that. So she thinks that her daughter is in some way connected to these aliens. What we find out later on in the movie is that she doesn't have a daughter, not yet, at least. And Dr. Ian is somehow the father. So I'll explain what goes on in the movie in a second. So basically, she's by learning the language of the aliens, she's now able to travel through time, but without being able to change anything from the past or being able to change anything from the future. It's all one continuous loop where now she can see certain parts of it and use it to help her, which is why I found it to be an extremely weird case, because at the end of the movie, when the movie's like really starting to build up and really starting to get a bit more difficult to understand, there's a scene in a gala where one of the Chinese soldier or a general, or maybe he became the president after that. So the Chinese general comes up to her and says, "I really need to talk to you because you said something to me that ended this entire war. We never fought the aliens, and that was because of you." And she's like, "Well, what the hell would I do?" Because she hadn't done it yet. And he said, "You called my personal number, and you told me the words that my dying wife told me, and that made me believe you more than I'd ever believed my boss, which was the president." So yeah, I was right about that misconception. And that was something so fundamental and so interesting because we started talking about it. Does that mean that there's a possibility where she never learned that? Does that just mean that... what type of timeline are we talking about? A lot of movies do time travel and timelines in a very different way. And so this one is doing it in a that there is one timeline, but she can go see the future for what she might need in the past. And in that case, they learn the language. And I think that the general understood that he needed to give her that information as soon as possible so that she could go and use it in the present day. Because then in the present day, she goes, picks up the phone, calls him on his personal number that she remembers from the future, and then tells him the words that she remembers from the future. It becomes a very interesting part of the movie where you just like... You're thinking about it, and it just keeps on confusing you, and the movie just keeps on going and going and going, and you're just even more and more confused. And it turns out that so at the beginning of the movie, you find out that her daughter dies by cancer, and you think that that's the beginning of the movie, but essentially that would come at the end of the movie, with Dr. Ian being the father and them meeting from the ship. Actually, when the kid is being raised, she's being raised from she's being raised and being told stories about what happened in Arrival. So basically throughout the movie, you're being able to see that is part of the future, or that kid is just a psychic. But in reality, that's not what happened at all. What happened at all was they hadn't had the kid yet. They hadn't met yet, and he left because I think that he found out that she was supposed to die, and that she knew that, and still decided to pursue the relationship with him, still decided to pursue having a daughter with him, even knowing that it was going to end. But that's why the movie's so interesting, and that's why the movie's so beautiful, because the movie tells you, one, aside from we haven't been touched down by aliens, it tells you that the world can unite to understand this, because the aliens were just trying to help humanity understand their language and understand them, so that in 3,000 years, when they needed the humans, they would be there to help. And so it becomes this thing where the movie just ends up not making a ton of sense, and you're left there with a bunch of questions. But it's a beautiful movie because it tells you that no matter what happens in life, she knew that her daughter was going to die from cancer, but she appreciated every moment that she had with her daughter. She appreciated every single thing that she had with her daughter. And so that's what was so remarkable about the movie. The fact that she knew that her daughter was going to die. She knew everything, but she still decided to pursue it because she said, I get, what was it, 16, 18 years with my daughter. So 18 beautiful years with her. And then after that, I'll always have her memory, and I'll always have that strength that she gave me. Because her daughter, in some cases, was very important to her figuring out that she was seeing the future. Because her daughter was being able to talk about what happened on the ship, which no one else was supposed to know. And then her daughter asked her, what's the word for this and that, and then she remembers it from the present, no, from the future, and then the father says it in the present, and so she just realizes everything. And without the daughter in the future, she wouldn't have realized some of those things that was actually going on. She realized that she was being able to see the timeline because she was the most advanced in learning the language. So yeah, I talked way too much about the movie because I find sci-fi movies to be way too interesting, and this one was very interesting because you usually do see like Alien when they touch down with humans, or Independence Day where it's just a big crisis, but this movie does it in a very different way and in a very special way, and I really recommend that all of you go watch the movie if you haven't already. I really liked the movie. I found it to be super interesting. I think. Yeah, I think I'd give it like an 8.6. It's a very good movie. Like I said, sound was so beautiful in the movie. Everything just sound wise, like you could feel the aliens, like you could feel the helicopters. You could hear everything so much because they did the sound very well. Yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good day.